Welcome to Post-Quantum Security, a practical guide. This is episode 21, How to Choose Quantum-Ready Products, Crypto Agility, Updates, and Honest Security Claims, in Part 5, Practical Decision-Making. How can we tell whether a digital product we use every day is genuinely prepared for the post-quantum transition? Rather than accepting vague marketing promises, we need to understand how to evaluate a vendor's claims, ask the right technical questions, and focus on practical agility. When evaluating products, avoid asking only, "Is this product quantum safe?" That question is misleading because it fails to capture how digital systems actually work. A product might use strong, modern cryptography to secure data in transit, but still rely on legacy, quantum-vulnerable public key algorithms for digital signatures, software updates, or long-term archives. The better question is whether the product can identify, update, and replace its cryptography as standards and threats change. This means we must evaluate products based on their adaptability rather than a permanent, passive label. This brings us to the core concept of crypto agility, the ability to change cryptographic algorithms, keys, and protocols without rebuilding the whole system. Imagine a building with many different physical locks, some on the main entrance doors, others on file rooms, heavy safes, or employee ID access cards. If a specific key is compromised or a lock type is found to be insecure, you do not tear down the building's walls. You simply replace the affected locks and issue new keys while the building keeps functioning. Digital architectures are no different. Cryptographic protocols are woven into web browsers, virtual private network tunnels, secure databases, and cloud storage systems. A crypto-agile system is designed to replace algorithms, cryptographic keys, and protocols with minimal disruption to daily operations. To see past the marketing hype, we must ask what a vendor is actually upgrading. A generic claim, such as uses advanced encryption standard 256, is not a complete post-quantum roadmap. It does not explain how the product establishes keys, signs software updates, or handles digital certificates. Instead, use these diagnostic questions. For data in transit, check if the product uses hybrid key establishment for network connections like HTTPS or secure shell. For data at rest, ask what symmetric encryption protects stored data and if archives can be re-encrypted. For end-to-end encryption, confirm whether the post-quantum claims apply to the actual end-to-end messaging channel or merely to the transport layer. Finally, check if digital signatures and embedded hardware can be seamlessly updated. When interviewing a product vendor, we can organize our evaluation into strategic and mechanical questions. 3 strategic questions are especially important. First, ask if the product has a documented post-quantum transition roadmap. Vague promises like, "We are monitoring the post-quantum transition," are insufficient. A credible roadmap must identify which functions are affected, detail the upgrade stages, and outline compatibility limits. Second, ask if the vendor supports hybrid cryptography during the transition. Combining conventional and post-quantum methods ensures your data remains protected today while the new standards are thoroughly tested. Third, ask if upgrading the cryptography requires a simple software patch, a new hardware module, or a complete physical replacement of the device. Next, we look at the technical mechanics of the product. First, can the system seamlessly rotate keys and certificates? It must be able to generate new cryptographic keys, revoke obsolete ones, renew certificates, and update trust stores without causing downtime. Second, does the vendor distinguish key establishment from digital signatures? Key establishment protects shared secrets during active sessions, whereas digital signatures establish authenticity and integrity for software, documents, and credentials. A vendor that conflates these two functions may not have a complete security model. Third, can the product re-encrypt stored archives? For long-lived data, you must know if the system can safely create newly protected copies and manage older backups without data loss. To evaluate sales claims, distinguish credible evidence from marketing hype. Honest, credible vendors provide clear technical documentation rather than relying on slogans. They clearly explain the scope and limits of their upgrades, distinguish between confidentiality and signatures, and openly acknowledge that deployment will take time. On the other hand, warning signs of marketing hype include the use of sensational buzzwords like quantum proof or unbreakable without technical details. You should also watch out for claims that a single product can instantly secure your entire infrastructure, pressure to replace functioning equipment immediately, or products that no longer receive normal security updates. Responsibilities during this transition depend heavily on the role of the buyer or organization. Individual users representing Tier 1 should simply prefer mainstream, supported services that receive regular, automatic security updates. They do not need to manually configure advanced cryptographic settings. Tier 2 covers small organizations and technical users, who should inventory their important systems, protect long-lived archives, and avoid products that lack a clear, documented update path. Finally, Tier 3 represents large institutions. They have the heaviest responsibilities, which include maintaining a comprehensive cryptographic inventory, identifying dependencies on legacy systems like our SA and elliptic curve cryptography, testing hybrid deployments, and integrating post-quantum requirements directly into procurement contracts. Regardless of your organization's size, 6 practical steps can begin today. First, prioritize updates by choosing supported products with automatic regular security updates. Second, demand specifics from your vendors about exactly what their post-quantum claims cover. Third, look for crypto agility, ensuring systems support key rotation and algorithm updates. Fourth, seek hybrid methods during the transition. Fifth, isolate long-lived archives and plan for re-encryption. Sixth, maintain basic security hygiene. We must remember that quantum-related cryptographic threats are distinct from present-day risks. Post-quantum cryptography will not protect against phishing, malware, stolen passwords, compromised endpoints, screenshots, cloud retention, or human error. To combat these daily hazards, strong multi-factor authentication, robust backups, and up-to-date software remain your most essential lines of defense. Several things can safely be ignored. You do not need to purchase a product simply because a vendor has slapped a quantum-safe label on a box. You do not need to replace fully functioning hardware without a documented, specific technical need. And as an individual user, you do not need to manually configure post-quantum algorithms yourself. The durable and sensible choice is always to choose a product that can change and adapt responsibly over time, rather than chasing dramatic, hyped-up security labels that offer little real-world substance. We close this episode with this final, reassuring takeaway. A quantum-ready product is not one that promises permanent, unbreakable safety. It is simply one that can identify its own cryptography, update its algorithms and keys, protect long-lived data, and explain clearly what its security claims do and do not cover. By focusing on adaptability, updates, and honest documentation, you can confidently navigate the post-quantum transition. Thank you for watching. See you next time.